Test. Yeah.
That looks nice. The
It
logo?
does,
It
yeah.
does look good. Yeah? Huh? Wilsonville. Wilsonville Wildcats. Okay, we're about to go live. You guys need to stop talking to me, okay? You just not ask me questions and just watch the game, okay? Okay, until Tanya gets here. Good evening, Canby sports fans, and welcome to Cougar Country, hometown sports in Canby, Oregon. I'm Tyler Frankie of the Canby Current, joined by our sports writer, Antonio Arredondo. We are here live at Cougar Stadium to bring you an exciting night of football as the Canby Cougars take on the undefeated Wilsonville Wildcats for the Northwest Oregon Conference West League Championship tonight. Antonio, a lot of storylines coming into tonight. Is there anything in particular that you're really excited to watch for?
Well, I'm just excited to see a healthy Cougars team take on the Wildcats this year. Last year, Wilsonville and Canby met in the COVID-shortened season on April 2nd, and Wilsonville took the game 37-14 with starting quarterback Mikey Gibson out of action.
It was a very banged-up Cougar squad that night. I remember Mikey Gibson, he was a junior at that time, was limping around for about half of the game, doing his best. But yeah, it's going to be much better tonight to see a mostly healthy Cougar squad take on a healthy Wilsonville team as well. Both teams at pretty much full strength. Anything else for tonight?
Both teams, I mean, they're just used to winning. Wilsonville has not lost a game since 2019. They haven't lost since a 9-48 loss against Thurston in the 5A playoffs, as we focus on me now. But they haven't lost in a long time. They're used to winning. Canby, it was a couple years ago they had a 22-game losing streak. That was the longest in school history. Head coach Jimmy Joyce stepped in 3 years of action. He's turned this Cougar team around. They have won 6 consecutive games. They're sitting at a 7-1 record. That's the most wins for the Cougars, the longest win streak since 2009, when the Cougars finished 12-2 and had a 10-game win streak. I'm just excited to see two teams that are used to winning, and when they start hitting each other, who's going to be the one that stands up and fights back?
Absolutely. It's going to be a prize fight tonight. Canby comes into the game ranked number 5. They've been 5th ranked pretty much the whole season in most coaches' polls for 5A. Wilsonville has bobbed up and down between 1st and 3rd. They come in tonight being 3rd. They softened up a little bit. They're undefeated, but they had a couple of wins by forfeit. Of course, that's not their fault. You can only play the teams that are in front of you. Canby has lost only 1 game, a non-league match, so both teams come into tonight undefeated in league play, and we are just about to do the kickoff.
Yeah, kicking off is Canby. That's going to be number 25, Gavin Boyer. It'll be a dynamic Wilsonville offense who's going to get the ball first. And a lot of talk has been about the Canby offense as well, but don't doubt their defense. The Cougars have not given up more than 21 points all season. That was to a top 10 opponent in Scappoose. Meanwhile, for Wilsonville, watch out for Chase Hicks, their quarterback. He has 13 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on the season. We'll see him shortly, as that kick is going to sail out of bounds.
Yeah, this is really going to be a battle of 2 of the top quarterbacks in the NWOC West. Chase Hicks, as you mentioned, he comes into tonight 3rd in the league in touchdowns with 13 against 3 interceptions, 5th in yards with 1,119. And remember, that's in only 6 games. We had 2 forfeits there, so.
It's been incredible. So Wildcats line up. They're taking the ball at the 35-yard line. We'll see Hicks.
Hicks is in the shotgun formation.
Back behind Hicks is Rockney Beecham. He's 10th in the conference with 296 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he'll get the ball first here. Not going to get much there. He's brought down by a host of Cougars.
Yep, got just a couple yards. Very active Cougar defense on that down.
As mentioned before, this Cougar defense is not to be ignored. Jacob Strand has 12 tackles for loss, the Oregon State commit, with 6 sacks as well as Cameron Lee. That's their backup quarterback. He's in the action there, number 8. Hill has 8 tackles for loss on the season. Setting back up here. Running around the edge.
Yep.
That's going to be Jacob Ogden. Ogden has 5 touchdowns on the season.
He got maybe back to the line of scrimmage there, but didn't gain anything on that play.
Big 3rd down here for the Cougar defense. 2 early runs for the Wildcats.
I think we're going to see Hicks with the play call on this one. Canby's looking for the pass.
Oh, and there's some early movement.
Penalty on the play.
It's going
to be against Wilsonville. False start.
False start. And you really want to make sure that you're not going to commit any mental errors. I know in a big game like this, and both these teams have been cruising through conference play.
3rd and 11 coming up.
So a definite passing situation now for the Wildcats.
Takes the snap. Play action. Looking downfield.
Hicks rolling out. He's not going to be able to get in. There's a sack!
Sack!
Big play. That's number 55, Braden Snodderly.
Excellent play by Snodderly there. Snodderly, he leads the league in tackles, has for most of the season. He's got 71 in 8 games so far, and that's going to set up a punt.
So a quick 3-and-out for Wilsonville.
Big confidence boost to the Cougar defense on that series to come up against this highly touted Wilsonville offense and take them back 1 yard and 3 downs.
And now here it goes. The ball's going back, and it's going to be picked
Knoll
up.
picks it up off the ground.
And here goes the dynamic sophomore down the sideline, pushed out of bounds. Tyler Knoll.
Wow.
The super sophomore, as we like to call him. He has almost 1,300 yards on the season in 8 games. That's first in not only the conference, but in the state, averaging almost 12 yards per carry. And he has a couple of 200 yards games as well.
He's been their primary special teams receiver on kicks and punts most of the season. Hasn't done a lot with it because teams don't like to kick to him. So he picked that one off the ground and made something out of nothing there. Got probably about 15, 20 yards on the rush back before he got pushed out of bounds. And quarterback Mikey Gibson takes over at the 42.
Gibson looking, and now he's going to be sacked.
That was a furious Wildcat blitz that came out of nowhere and just overwhelmed the line there. That's going to be a loss of 8 on that play.
Not the start you want for the Cougar drive there. Gibson on the season has a 59% completion percentage, 1,300 yards, as well as 16 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. The 3-year starter for the Cougars took over midway through his sophomore year, back when the Canby played in 6A, excuse me. He's going to take it.
Hands it off to Knoll, tries to find daylight, makes it back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard pickup on the play.
Tackle by Nick Cooper for Wilsonville. 3rd and 17 for the Cougars, so both teams trading some strong defensive possessions early. Let's see if the Cougars can convert on a long play here. Packed house here in Canby at Cougar Stadium.
Absolutely. It's great to see.
Biggest game for the program.
Wilsonville fans also traveling for the big game all the way across the river. I wonder if they took the ferry.
I got to give credit to this Wilsonville student section. They've shown out as a dump pass here is going to go to Knoll.
And makes it about 5 yards. It's going to be 4th and 12. Punt teams coming on. You do see Canby attempt a lot of 4th down conversions. That's something that Jimmy Joyce, a longtime offensive specialist for Beaverton, never been shy about, especially this season. But they're not going to try it here against this fierce Wilsonville defense.
I think
4th and 14.
Just about anything, like even if he was within 7 yards, I think you could see the Cougars go for that. It's just a little bit too risky this early in the game, as the punt's going to take a nice Cougar bounce. It decided to stay in bounds.
Yep.
Going to be down right at the 15-yard line.
To the Wilsonville 15, the offense will take over and get another shot at a drive here. It was a very lucky bounce for the Cougar special teams there.
Well, then let's be frank, the Cougars haven't had to punt very much these last 6 games.
That's true.
They've scored over 33 points over their win streak, including 2 50-plus performances. And this is an offense that 3 years ago failed to crack 14 points, or 4 years ago, I beg your pardon. And to see
in a single game, yeah.
Yeah, in a single game, they only scored 108 points on the season. As Hicks going to
airs it out downfield. Little too strong. It's going to be incomplete.
And that's what Wilsonville likes to do. They're gonna throw some deep, and they have the talent to be able to just burn you, which both Cougars and the Wildcats have that ability.
That pass was intended for Cooper Hyde, one of his favorite targets.
Hyde with 448 yards on the season, as well as 6 touchdowns. His yardage is good for 6th in the conference.
2nd and 10 from the Wildcat 15. Empty backfield for the Wildcats. Hicks is in the shotgun formation. Some motion. Oh.
And it's going to be
a play action. Quarterback keeper.
Good play
Makes
there.
It about 7 or 8 yards.
Hicks on the quarterback keep. He was brought down by
And that's going to bring up another 3rd down. This one significantly shorter than the 3rd and 11. A few minutes back.
Our dynamic running back, Tyler Knoll, making the defensive stop there.
Just under halfway through this first quarter.
We've got the Cougar fans making noise on this critical 3rd down. Hand off to the running back. It's going
Fights.
to be close.
Fights through.
First
And-
down.
And that's going to be good for a first down. First down of the game for either team. And the Wildcats now looking to put together a drive. And so, Tyler, what so far has impressed you about this Cougar defense, not just this game, but this season? Because we've been talking about the offense so much.
Right. You know, I think that we have seen, as getting to the backfield there.
And another big hit
Another
from Knoll.
completion. That pass complete to Nick Crowley, the freshman. I have to say, especially last game, we saw Joe Brockmiller, one of our seniors, and he plays tight end. He's one of Gibson's favorite targets on offense, but he was all over the place on defense last year. He's made some good plays so far this game as well. He's just a pure athlete, strong and fast, and has great instincts on defense.
As
Got
the
a pile up here.
forward progress is going to get the Wildcats
Another
first down. Brockmiller last week against Forest Grove had an interception, a fumble recovery, and a sack on fourth down. So crucial plays by the senior there.
They're going to make it to the 41 and get a new set of downs. Wilsonville so far this series, they've really mixed it up, showing how dynamic their offense can be. Runs inside, runs outside, some play action, some passes, short and long. And the Cougars have not fully adjusted yet.
There's a screen pass there, going to be caught.
Oh, and he slipped through a couple of tackles.
That was Cooper
Brought
today.
down by Cameron Lee, linebacker and backup quarterback.
That's
Made it 9 yards with the screen pass, bringing up a 2nd and 1.
Wilsonville with a nice early drive here.
Got the Cougars on their heels on this drive. You're fine.
Here's Ogden on the
Run,
carry.
and they're going to stop him. He's not going to make it for the first down. I'd say he probably lost a couple yards on that one.
They're going to give him the forward progress, it looks like, but he was stonewalled by a strong Cougar defensive line. And there's another third down for the Wildcats.
It's going to be 3rd and 1, critical third down here. I think we'll hear the fans try to get into it and pump up this Cougar defense for a critical 3rd down.
Getting loud here at Cougar Stadium.
Hands
There.
off to Beecham. Run outside.
And he's going to pick up the first down there. Another third down conversion, and the Wildcats are content to ground and pound their way.
I apologize. I was Ogden on the carry, not Beecham. All right, it's going to be 1st and 10 from Canby's 47. Wilsonville in Canby territory for the first time. Hands off to Ogden. He'll make it a couple of yards, maybe 3.
Matthew Hagan on the tackle there. 2nd and 6. Long grinding drive for the Wildcats.
Yeah.
Over 4 minutes. Dual back set here. Going to fake the
Play action
pass.
fake.
Too high.
Overshoots. Intended for Kellen Harford. He's a senior. Like a lot of teams, a lot of the top performers on defense also play on offense. So that's something to watch, how much this might tire out the Cougs.
And what do you know? It's another third down.
You don't say. 3rd and 6. Let's see if the Cougars have caught on to them yet, or if Wilsonville still has more in their bag of tricks to pick up another conversion. It'll be their 4th of the night, 3rd on this drive.
Back to pass.
Back to pass, Hicks. Complete, and that's going to be a first down. Jack Johnson, the receiver, broke a couple of tackles and gained at least another 10 or 15 on the run there. Some really nifty run after the catch there by Johnson. So showed a lot of athleticism on that drive there, on that catch. And again, Wilsonville just continues to show different things every down, and Canby has struggled to adjust so far.
There's a handoff.
Handoff to Ogden, he powers through, gets about 9 yards.
And so far, the Wildcats' first downs have been their biggest savior. The second downs, they haven't been able to get it. The third downs, they picked it up, but it's because they're in such good position.
Oh, he got the first on that, Ogden did. They're going to take over 1st and 10 on the 16, and Wilsonville is in the Canby red zone with about 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
Beecham and Ogden in the back with Hicks.
Hicks takes the snap, hands off to Ogden, who's been running all over this series. Canby gets into the backfield but can't bring him down. He gets pushed out of bounds.
Ogden on the carry. He's finally pushed out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
Canby seems a little rattled right now, Antonio, would you say?
Yes. I think they have been up by at least 3 scores in every game. In the past 6 games of their win streak, they've been up at least 21 points by halftime.
Right.
They have been dominating so far. This is an interesting formation we see here with almost a 2 fullback set. But
players in the backfield there. Definitely a run, handoff to Ogden, tries to power through. The Cougars stopped him there.
The old Stanford package almost.
Canby remains very stout in the middle. A lot of Wilsonville's success on this drive has been around the margins and through the passing game.
But to your point, rattled, I don't know if that's the correct word, but they're definitely feeling a pressure a little bit.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I mean, I can't, it might have been week 2 was the last time Canby didn't score in the first quarter or even on their first attempt, their first possession. In fact, and that's not going to happen here tonight. So,
in fact, the Cougars haven't trailed since that 17-14 loss to West Albany. They've been all over
Hicks
it.
Is going to keep it. Cougars in the backfield, and they get him for the sack. That should be a confidence boost for this defense.
Nice tackle for loss there.
He was brought down by number 58, Colin Kennedy.
That was Colin Kennedy on the tackle for loss.
3 on the play brings up 2nd and goal from the 8.
They're going to be 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line. Lost about 5 yards on that play. We've got less than a minute, about 50 seconds here with a running clock. Ogden in the backfield and Hicks back to take the snap. Shotgun formation. Hicks is going to pass, and that's a touchdown. Pass complete to Nick Crowley, the freshman.
And that's a statement drive.
Wilsonville's going to get first blood tonight in this grudge match between the Wilsonville Wildcats and the Canby Cougars, who are hosting here at Cougar Stadium, with 34 seconds left in the first. Oh, we've got some interesting stuff going here on the point after attempt.
That's like the Chip Kelly Oregon offenses there, the little swinging gate formation.
Yeah, everyone but the center started to line up there on the thing and then on the side and then move back to the center. But point after attempt is good, so Wilsonville's going to lead 7-0 with 34 seconds remaining in the first. Still plenty of time for the Cougars to turn this around and get back into the game. They're going to receive here in just a couple of minutes. You mentioned, Antonio, that was a statement drive. I definitely agree. They came in here and wanted to show that they were not rattled, that they've faced many big games like this before. Unlike Canby, they've been in the playoffs more recently than 2014, so they have some of that big game mentality and big game experience, and they were ready to showcase that. Canby was ready too. They stopped on the first drive, but the second drive they adjusted, made all the adjustments they needed, and were able to just power their way pretty easily downfield. The Canby put up some resistance, but not enough.
And this is where you're going to see how Canby responds.
Yeah.
Wilsonville, they haven't lost in 2 years.
Right.
Canby, 4 years ago, they were 0-9. And this is a team that's been through this. They've been through losses. They've been through being down. And they've come out the other side.
Right.
They've been able to come back stronger. They've got the pieces. And I think they feel, the coaching staff, the players, and the community feels this is their year.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We're definitely going to see here, this is a make-or-break game tonight and a make-or-break situation. Kick caught by Knold. He returns. Makes it to about the 20, or about the 31, excuse me. Good return by Knold there.
And now let's see what this Canby offense is going to do to respond. 26 seconds left here in the first quarter, trailing 7-0. They had a good punt return by Knold earlier in the quarter.
Weren't able to capitalize.
Weren't able to capitalize, just like you said. They've -7 yards so far, or -4 yards, excuse me, through the first quarter. Of course, if you only have
it's
three
only
plays.
one series, yeah.
Because Wilsonville ate up a good amount of time there. So here's Gibson now with Bryce Oliver. Oliver, the senior running back made of Knold. He has 610 yards himself.
Pitch to Oliver, who's going to make it through.
Only going to pick up about 1 yard there.
Made it about to the line of scrimmage.
He was brought down by number 23, Jack Johnson. Gain of 1 on the play, brings up 2nd and 9.
Oliver is 4th in the league in rushing touchdowns with 9, right behind his backfield mate Tyler Knold, who has 14 on the season. And that's the end of the first. Sorry, Antonio.
No, you're fine. You're good. And that is going to bring the end of the first. I'll steal it from you this time. Wilsonville leads 7-0. Canby's offense has not been on the field long. A long, grueling drive from the Wildcats is going to give them that 7-0 advantage, but now we can see if the Cougars' potent offense can respond.
Canby is going to take back over when play starts again at the 32, at their own 32, 2nd and 9.
A blessedly short quarter intermission, high school football, that's why I love it. You'd have at least 5 commercials going on right now if you were watching a college or NFL game. And you just gotta love the high school atmosphere. This is a community, Canby, that rallies and it has rallied around football for a long time. And to see their Cougars back on top of a conference as there's a jump there, it's just amazing to see the packed house after a year where there was no one allowed. We didn't even know if we were going to get football.
Yeah. A penalty's going to go against Canby. False start.
Penalty's going to go on backup quarterback as well as every man, Cameron Lee. Cameron Lee actually, despite being the backup quarterback, had 4 straight games with a touchdown. He is a
rushing touchdown.
Yeah, rushing touchdowns. He is a pure athlete. Just got a little excited there, and it'll be 2nd down.
He plays linebacker for them on defense and is very active. But Antonio, you're exactly right. This community has always been a football town, has loved to support their football team, and they have just been so ready to have a team that is seeing as much success as this one is. Gibson keeps the ball and runs into a wall of Wildcat defenders.
Number 3 and number 23, Jack Johnson.
Brought down by Jack Johnson and other Wilsonville defenders there. Gained maybe a couple of yards.
There is a penalty marker on the play.
Oh, got a penalty on the play.
No, they're waving it off as soon as it was announced.
It was picked up.
Almost instantly. And so the Cougars now haven't had a play of more than 5 yards so far today. Looking to change that here. And for the most part this season, they have been a run and gun offense, but you focus on the run. This team likes to run on the outside, the inside, and everywhere else. There was a game where Mikey Gibson had 5 passes and completed 2 of them, both for touchdowns.
Gibson has really not had to pass too much. The running game has been their plan A, and when it's found success, they don't feel the need to put too much pressure on him.
There's a pass now.
Finds an open.
Ooh, a big hit and a fumble. That's going to be picked up, and it might be going back. quick play, big play, touchdown, Wilsonville. They take a 13-7 lead, picking up the fumble, a hard hit there.
Extremely hard hit.
Momentum plays, that's going to change. That's going to change the course of a football game. And a big play like that, as here we see the swinging gate formation,
Swinging formation.
And I don't know how often they run this. This is mostly just used as a tactic to keep that.
Keep them on their toes, discombobulate them a little bit.
Keep them honest, and if for some reason they aren't set up there, run it. But for the most part, this is just going to be smoke and mirrors from Wilsonville, but a big play there. And
point after is good, and that's going to be 14-0, less than a minute into the second quarter. Disheartening turn of events for the Cougars on that drive.
And this is where they got to stand up.
Yeah. Real make or break moment here. Head coach Jimmy Joyce and his team are going to be talking to the players about football, but also just trying to calm them down, trying to remind them who they are, about the brand of football they've been playing all season. This is a situation that maybe they haven't been in this year, but as you said earlier, Antonio, they've definitely faced it before. So.
Yeah, and earlier this year, in fact, their only loss of the season against West Albany, they fell down 10-0 very early, and this was after a close and hard-fought win over Dallas.
Yeah.
And they were able to fight back extremely quickly, use a bit of razzle-dazzle to get Gibson a receiving touchdown, but they ended up taking a 14-10 lead into halftime, and while they might not have won the game, they've been able to show that they can stand up right here, as I've said many times before. But let's see if they can get something going on the offensive side. They've been in the negative all day today. Of course, have only run 5 plays. It's hard when you have such a lopsided possession.
Knold back in the backfield to receive. Deep kick.
That's going to be fielded by Souls, and there's a flag. So he reaches out.
Made it to about the 31.
And let's see what this penalty marker is.
Matthew Souls, one of the senior captains for this Canby Cougar team.
Souls has stepped up as a receiver ever since star wideout Kobe Kessler went out with an injury, as we're going to have a Canby penalty here. And Cougars are racking up a couple of penalties, unfortunately. Wilsonville picked up the first of the game early with that false start, but since then, it's been, I believe, 3 Canby penalties. And that's going to put them back.
That has been one of the storylines of this Canby team. As good as their offense has been, penalties have often been their Achilles heel in many games. Times where they played lesser opponents, where the defense has really been strong. Penalties have often been how the other team has gained much of their yards. Really hurting them tonight.
And Gibson, maybe he fought back there and tried his hardest. And so often over the 6-game win streak, you've seen Gibson keep it. In fact, last week against Forest Grove, he was more of a runner than a passer. And that's because defenses have to focus on the backfield of Knold and Oliver. But Wilsonville's saying, we can take you one-on-one, and other teams haven't been able to do that. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 11. So far, the Cougars have 4 plays for negative yards.
Lost 1 on that play. Wilsonville got in the backfield again and broke up, I believe, what they were trying to do. Takes the snap, hands off to Knold. Makes it about 4 yards, at least it's positive yardage.
They'll take what you can get right now, but right now they're going to need at least 8 yards.
3rd and 7.
Early statement play here for the Wildcat defense.
Critical 3rd down for Canby. 3rd and 7 from their own 23. They trail 14-0 on this season-ending game with the Northwest Oregon Conference West League title on the line.
And this game could also determine if the Cougars host a playoff game or not. Stepping back
Gibson
to pass.
In the shotgun formation. Pass complete to number 16, Parker Ackerman, sophomore. He is going to get the first down. Ackerman, another active, dynamic part of this Cougar receiving corps that really stepped up, as you said, Antonio. Alfred Kessler went down, I believe, in week 2 or 3. And St. Helens. Week 3, I believe.
Yeah,
St.
week
Helens.
3 he went down, and even after not playing for so many weeks, Kessler is still on the conference board for touchdowns, receptions
One
with
of the
7.
leaders. Yes.
One of the leaders. Just a statement to how big of a part of this team that he
Knoll
was.
in the backfield gets the handoff. He's trying to get behind that big offensive line that's done such good work this season, but is struggling against this Wilsonville starting 5.
Yes, this offensive line, managed by line coach Paul Huggins, has really stepped up. The reason, a big reason, Knoll has been amazing, and Oliver's been amazing as well, but you got to give credit to your big man up front. And Jacob Strands, who's playing tight end but started the season at tackle, is a Oregon State commit who'll be playing line there. They like to run his way.
Knoll's got about 3 on that play, brings up 2nd and 7.
Low
Gets
snap
the,
there.
A little bit of trickery there. Knoll gets the handoff and gets the first down.
And you can see that quickness there. He can change direction so quickly. And I tell you, Tyler, I'm excited to see where not only Knoll can go, where Ackerman can go, but this Canby football team, yes, they have a lot of seniors that they're losing, but you have a sophomore class. This is one of the most athletic classes I've seen.
Yeah, yeah. Can't be said often enough. This is Knoll's first varsity action this season that he's ever seen. He was in freshman league last year during the COVID-shortened season. He gets a handoff again and is stopped. Might have got back.
Oh, and there's a flag.
But there is a flag.
I'd be shocked if this was against Canby.
I think it's going to be Wilsonville.
Knoll was brought down somewhat awkwardly. It looks like a personal foul.
Go against Wilsonville. But Knoll, he played freshman football. If it had been a longer season, Coach Jimmy Joyce has often said he probably would have played some varsity, but he did not. He was in freshman league and put up what has often just been called Madden-like numbers in that league. I know of one game where he scored 6 rushing touchdowns and about 600 yards rushing in a single game, which is Madden-like. I think I've done it. Maybe in Madden. Maybe if you gave yourself 12-minute quarters.
12-minute quarters and put CPU on easy. And that's how Knoll's been playing a lot of this season, is with the computer on easy. And right now he's ramped the difficulty up to Hall of Fame against this Wilsonville D line. However,
came into tonight averaging about 11 yards per carry. I don't think he's got that once on a carry tonight yet.
However, the Cougars now in Wildcat territory as Gibson's going to take the snap, and another flag. A lot of penalties early.
They're whistling the play dead.
And this is a sign for both teams, a little jumpy. This is the biggest game that either of them have had all season.
That's right.
And after playing a NWOC West conference schedule that outside of Scappoose.
False start on the offense. Canby is going to lose 5 yards there.
But outside of Scappoose has been relatively weak. They're now looking right at a pair of Goliaths here, and Canby trying to respond.
It's going to be 1st and 15 from the Wilsonville 45. Gibson back in the shotgun with Knoll behind him in the backfield. Takes the snap.
Option play here.
It's going to be option. That's a good run by Gibson. The offensive line opened up a good hole for him, and he made it about 4 yards.
And that's what we've seen so much over these last couple weeks as teams have zeroed in on Knoll. Gibson has been using his legs a lot more than his arm as of late. And another play there that picks up a couple yards, and you just need to dink and dunk your way down the field with that.
Yeah, yes, don't overthink it.
It might be a 3-yard play now, but, you know, third quarter, lines tend to get tired and the holes open up a bit more.
I think we'll see a passing play pretty soon here, if not on this down. They're hoping to soften up this Wilsonville defense with the run, and I think that they've done that. So
I think that Jacob Strand, the tight end, moved early, and now they move early again. But Strand got up early and looked disappointed in himself and was shocked to see that there wasn't a flag. The Wilsonville linebackers were screaming at the refs, but Canby made sure that there was a false start anyway.
Yeah. Same penalty. They've had false start 3 or 4 times tonight with 6.5 minutes still to play in the second quarter.
And they're going to take a timeout here.
And that's with most of the first quarter being dominated by the Wilsonville offense.
So first timeout of the half for either team here.
We've got a dinosaur running up to give water.
It is Halloween, and I got to give credit to this Canby student section. I've seen a lot of good costumes as we were walking in here. There was a, I don't know, there was a kid who was dressed up as the Mrs. Butterworth's syrup.
Yeah, I saw several bananas, some pirates, some referees. I don't know if they were trying to confuse people there.
The spirit is definitely here for this student section.
Yes, absolutely. Antonio, you've talked to Coach Joyce a number of times this season. You talked to him in anticipation of this game. What do you think he's telling the guys out there right now?
I think as a coach, you got to be telling them, we know what we run.
Yeah.
We know who we are, and yes, we might be getting down right now, but you can't doubt yourself.
Absolutely.
This is a good team. This is a great team.
It's going to be 2nd and 17 from the Wilsonville 47.
And even in NFL, if you see
Handoff
teams doubt themselves.
Canold finds a big hole, but just gets tripped up. He would have been gone.
Canold has
That's
that second gear, and a third gear too.
Fourth
he can
and
get
fifth
it.
sometimes. Yeah, that is that's unfortunate, but nice to see that the even when they've been successful with the run, and you could feel Wilsonville expecting run, the offensive line still able to open up a hole like that. Hopefully will pay dividends as this game continues.
And right here, I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think that the Cougars necessarily need to go for it all here. Yes, it's a third and long, but if you get it to a 4th and manageable, you can get this done.
Pass. He's got some time. No, he's going to run, keep it, and makes it back to the line of scrimmage, but doesn't gain anything there.
And decision time here for Coach Jimmy Joyce. Does he decide to go for it and try to get this team on the board? Right now, it's looking like they are.
Yep. Looks like the offense is going to stay on the field for 4th and 13. Again, Canby has done this many times this season. When they've been behind, when they've been ahead, they'll often go for it on 4th and short and 4th and long, which is what we're seeing here tonight. So they have that experience, and they have that in their playbook. I'm not sure how many times Wilsonville's been forced to defend a situation like that. So we'll see if the experience leans toward advantage Canby in this down here. Very critical 4th down.
Obvious passing situation here. Gibson completed 2 of his passes so far as he steps back. Quick rush here.
Oh man, he got hit by a Cougar.
Oh,
Not sure
somehow he escaped a lot of people, and the Wilsonville student section going into frenzy here, and he hasn't had much time to pass.
No, he really didn't.
And most of the time this season, he's had all day in the back and been able to pick apart defenses, in part because the running game had been working so well that you had to respect. Yeah, you have to respect it. But Wilsonville is content to send the house and say, yes, block us, and then if you complete a pass, good job. And so far the Cougars have been able to connect.
That was a very, very crazy, chaotic down there. One of the Cougar linemen got shoved back into Gibson, and that's what kind of discombobulated him and ended the series really, or the down really, before he could do much.
Hicks passed the pass here.
A long pass by Hicks, and just incomplete.
A tad underthrown there. I don't know if he had the angle on him.
That was well defended by Seth Squire.
Squire defending Cooper Hyde. He's their big play man. And they're trying to get a shot right there. And that shot,
2nd and 10.
That shot right there is really them trying to further push momentum in their direction.
Right.
So a good job there by Squire.
Yeah, very good coverage on Hyde there.
Oh, and what's this?
Another penalty.
It's going to be on the Cougars again, it looks like, jumping off sides.
Yeah, it's going to move them up 5 yards, give them a 2nd and 5.
And Coach Joyce cannot be happy with the amount of penalties the Canby team has had so far.
No, but again, Wilsonville has a lot more experience in games like this than Canby does. Canby has a lot of their swagger and confidence back, but we still have to remember they've got Oh,
A
another
flag.
penalty.
Is it going back the other way?
That one might be
There we
against
go.
Wilsonville this time.
Well, and
Yeah,
as
the refs are going to walk it back at 5 yards. Could have just left it there from the beginning. Save us all some time.
yeah.
2nd and 10 from the 46. Canby's only had this one season, these 8 games, and really 6 games. They were 1-1 to start the season. Only about 6 games as a winning team. Wilsonville has years and years of experience. Great defense by the Cougars there. They bring down Ogden, tackle for loss. He's going to lose about a yard on that play. They just swarmed him, got quickly across the offensive line and into the backfield.
3rd and 11 here for the Wildcats.
That was a statement play by the Canby defense there. 3rd down. Crowd looking to get back into it here. This is the home of the Cougars after all. Don't know if Wildcats know that yet, but hopefully they will.
Looking for
Hicks
another.
is back in shotgun formation, fakes, scrambles around, finds good coverage by Canby there.
He was able
Pass
to get up
was
for it.
complete to Jack Johnson.
Knoll, I
Not
believe,
going to
with
get
the
the
tackle.
first down.
And
Going to
that
be 4th and short, 4th and inches maybe, or 4th and 1, and it looks like they will go for it. So 4th down.
and
I
that's
think
a
we're going to see a run here for sure. Just a question of who gets it. They've got that three back formation again.
what a big play by Knoll there. Let's see if the Cougars can pay it off.
Hicks is under center. He hands it off to Ogden. Does look like he got it.
They had him initially there.
Yeah,
they
he just
did.
pushed through.
He was able to. He was
gonna
able to
move-
spin around.
They're going to move the sticks and did convert that 4th down just barely. They covered that just about as well as you could. They had the that 3-back formation and just everyone on the team pushing for that run, and they were able to pick up the inches they needed.
Yeah, a good initial push. Ogden was able to just squeeze by, and they actually had him by the jersey, and he just slithered his way around. As here we're going to see a pass. Oh, a nice completion there.
To Jack Johnson again.
Oh, and there's a fumble! It's on the ground! Picked
Canby
up by the
recovers.
Cougars!
Woo!
There's your big play, Canby!
Knoll with the recovery there. This Cougar crowd is on their feet. They're going to take over at about the 4.
And
their
that was-
own 4.
That was going to be a big play by Jack Johnson there. And that's, interestingly enough, you rarely see a wide receiver fumble the ball. And we've had it twice so far in the first half.
Yeah.
Both big momentum plays. Let's see if the Cougars can take advantage here. And the crowd finally was something to cheer about.
Yeah, they have an opportunity here. I think we'll definitely see some big passes. We've got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first half. Canby kicked off to start the game, so they'll get it back after halftime. Gibson takes the snap, hands off.
Oliver able to pick up a couple of yards there on the carry.
Give him a little bit of breathing room.
He was brought down by number 7, Judah Lesh. Gain of about 4 on the play, brings up 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6 here for the Cougars. And they've been mostly running on these first downs. That's what they like to do, to move the ball and get into manageable positions. Wilsonville's been able to step up early so far. Gibson back once again. Oliver to his left. Ooh, and it's a counter play, and here goes Oliver. Oliver picking up a couple of yards. A nice play there from Bryce Oliver and a good play call. Planted his foot. The entire Wilsonville defense was reading run left. Boom, goes to the right, and there's a first down. Just what you need if you're Canby. Just keep the chain moving. Keep it in manageable positions. Do what's your bread and butter, and that is just downhill running. Around a 17-yard carry there as Gibson's going to step back to pass, looking for a screen, and that's going to be complete. Oh, that could have broken big. If Parker Ackerman had slipped through that tackle, I don't know if there were many Wildcats in the area. Ackerman, a sophomore, he's had a couple of touchdown passes caught on the year. Only a 2-yard gain for the Cougars, though, as they set up shop. And now we're seeing stuff. Now we're seeing, once you get the ball moving a little bit, defense on its heels, you can start to accumulate some more chunk plays.
Going to call timeout to stop the clock.
34 seconds left. It's going to get to passing situations soon. Although, against St. Helens, in an obvious Hail Mary scenario, they did hand it off to Tyler Knold, who was able to run 60 yards and then lateral it to Jacob Strand, who went in for a touchdown. And a zany play that was actually called back because of a forward lateral.
Yeah, I am not, Jimmy Joyce, he likes to look at what the defense is giving him and then do the opposite. So I'm not 100% sure that we'll see pass here. We've got 35 seconds left to go in the first half.
Cougars still with 1 timeout left.
It's going to be 3rd and 1 from the 33.
So you do have to pick up the ball here. You can't pick up the first down, excuse me. You can't afford to have a 4th and 1 in this situation.
Knold is in the backfield with Gibson, who's in the shotgun formation.
Oliver was able to pick up most of the carries. Knold has been rather silent so far this first half.
Takes a snap, does hand off to Knold. Looking for space, and I don't think he gets stopped.
Don't think he got it. Now,
got stopped in the backfield.
Now it's decision time. Wilsonville smartly going to call a timeout here. They want the ball back, and right now I don't see a punt team coming out.
Now Canby's going to go for it here on 4th and 2.
And I don't know how confident Wilsonville is in their kicker as well. It doesn't appear to me. Oh, and now they're switching it out.
Yeah.
And I do think that's the smart call.
I do too. Canby's going to get the ball back after the half, so why risk putting Wilsonville in scoring range here with 30 seconds left and time for Wilsonville to do something if they did get the ball back in good position.
Exactly right. Second punt today for the Cougars. They have a fumble and a turnover on downs, snap back. This punt's low, gonna be caught in good position.
Gets about back to the 40, about back to where they were anyway on that punt return.
A net 3-yard change in field position there. Might not have been what you want, but it was the right call.
They're going to take over at about the Canby 39 with 23 seconds left. Wilsonville still has 2 timeouts.
So expect a lot of shots here.
We've got Hicks and Ogden in the backfield, shotgun formation. Canby reading pass. Deep coverage for their safeties.
Hicks back to pass, and now he makes a plant.
He's going to keep it. And looks like he stayed in bounds, or...
And there's a timeout, yes, for Wilsonville.
Gotcha.
That'll stop the clock.
Yep, 15 seconds. I think he lost yardage on that play. It's going to be about a 2nd and 12. That was good coverage by Canby, and Hicks decided to keep it to see if he could find space, but linebackers brought him down.
Nice play so far. Hicks's favorite targets have been Cooper Hyday as well as Jack Johnson. Nick Crowley had the touchdown reception for the Wildcats, and then quickly with 1 minute, beg your pardon, into that second quarter, the Cougars fumbled the ball, and it was swiftly returned for a about 30-yard touchdown. And that's been the big difference so far. Canby has been able to show some life on the offensive side, but that big turnover has put the Wildcats it gives them a 2-score lead. Of course, Wildcats did fumble back. And they're going to run here.
Run again with Ogden. Going to get to the sideline and not gain much, but he will stop the clock and get out of bounds there.
And what that sets up is now you have a very manageable 30-yard pass to the end zone. Hicks has an arm. We saw it earlier. He hasn't been able to connect yet. But he can comfortably get this to the end zone instead of a 40-yard where it's more of a Hail Mary. You can even try to run some sort of play here, getting that set up. So a smart run there for the Wildcats.
Hicks is in the backfield with Johnson. He's going to keep it.
Rolling out. That's going to be a throwback to Johnson.
Who stops it.
0.6 seconds left. And Johnson, not a running back. I noticed your confusion when you saw his name, and that was the reason they were running. That was a planned wheel route there. And a good job by Joe Brockmiller. Good awareness there to realize what was going on, because so often you see teams, even in the NFL, get burned by that wheel route.
That was defensive back Davis Hagan with excellent coverage there, just blind coverage.
Yeah.
He just put his hand up, but it was enough to deflect the pass.
So Hagan, not Brockmiller. And so far,
very close.
Very
Hagan's
close.
number 30, and Joe Brockmiller
it's
31.
the same
so
thing. I don't have the press box advantage myself to see over everything.
That's Wilsonville's last time out, and there's 0.6 of a second left. It'll be the final play of this half with Wilsonville from the 29-yard line. And it will determine whether Canby goes into the half trailing by 14 or by 21.
And let's not forget, in that first game of the season against Dallas, it was a Hail Mary situation, and the Cougars were leading 13-6. And I believe it was Brockmiller who actually intercepted the ball in the end zone and returned it 105 yards for the touchdown. It's worked out.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Let's just do that.
It's that simple, really.
That worked.
That's why they should put me at defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
however, it just shows
if they're hiring.
It just shows that they're smart. They've been in this situation before, and that they're aware of what's going to happen.
Ogden runs onto the field. He's going to be in the backfield with Hicks. Receivers spread wide. Takes the snap.
There it is, deep throw.
Broken up.
Oh, and that's going to be a flag. He was interfered with, so they're going to get a free play there.
Pass interference.
It was a good ball and definitely catchable, and that looked like it was Parker Ackerman on the coverage, although I've been wrong with numbers before.
Joyce is furious at the call.
Head coach Jimmy Joyce not happy, as you said. And so
that's some boos come from the crowd as well.
Against the OSAA policy, but you can't get everyone. And so that's going to give.
I mean, I think I heard that coming from Wilsonville, I should say, not Canby.
There we go. There we go.
They are going to get, as you said, a free play.
Oh, and looks like I was curious about the kicking game for Wilsonville.
They're going to do a field goal.
Yeah, this is going to be big, and now there's another timeout. This is taken by Canby.
Yep, Canby's last of the half.
Looked like it was Joey Friedman who's come out to take that kick. You don't see field goal attempts too often in high school.
No, it's going to be about a 20 to 25 yard attempt with a pretty extreme angle.
Yeah, it's 25, so 35 yards with that 10 yards back.
Yeah,
and it's a bit to the right.
It's from the 15, so about 25, right?
But you have to snap it back to the holder.
Fair enough.
So they're going to snap it back to the holder. Well, I guess we can figure out when they line up, but it'll be Friedman here, and this could be a huge turn of events here because that's a 3-score lead if Wilsonville is able to knock down this kick.
Yep.
Not sure how many field goals they have on the season, but Friedman stepping back for what's going to be a 32-yarder. And drills through it. It was deflected and just barely gets over. Yeah, the official calling deflection.
that's going to put the Cougars down 17-0 heading into the half. Well, the score doesn't look good, but I'd say it's a little bit closer than it maybe looks. Canby was definitely showing some life there in the second quarter and finding some success. It just didn't quite translate into points yet.
Exactly. They've only given up one offensive touchdown so far.
Yeah.
17 points obviously isn't what you want, but it's not irredeemable. This is something that can definitely come back, and I think the big thing is Canby hasn't scored on offense yet, and that is not the Cougar offense that we've come to know over these last 6 games.
Absolutely.
So I expect them to come out with some fire. I expect them to come out ready to hit their opponents and get in the end zone.
Yeah, the big storyline, as we've already talked about, if you're just joining us here tonight, was that fumble and a recovery that just went straight down the touchdown. That was a real gift from heaven for the Wilsonville Wildcats. Not that they necessarily needed it. They had momentum, but they were able to pick that up. This huge hit on the Canby receiver there. The ball just helpfully bounced toward the touchdown, and Wilsonville picked it up and just took it in the rest of the way, and that gave them a 14-0 lead, as you said, without having to earn it on offense.
And offensively, Tyler Knold has been the quietest I've seen him all season. Not quite able to break through, although you have to expect that later in the game as we're having an honoring service here. Looks like they're honoring Canby Cougar cross country, the boys team of which qualified for the state race for the first time in 15 years.
That Tommy O'Neill, I believe, looks like dressed as Captain Marvel.
God, that might be the Flash. I see a lightning bolt there. But
O'Neill, he finished 12th in the Three Rivers League District Championships on Wednesday. He has had a extremely colorful and extremely accomplished cross-country career here at Canby.
O'Neill gets a nice round of applause from the crowd.
For some reason, the announcer didn't say what he's dressed as.
I have to think that's the Flash.
I mean, that would make sense for a runner, right?
It would.
We'll say the Flash.
Maybe he's dressed as himself. This is what he wears when he runs.
He's like, wait, it's Halloween?
Didn't know.
This is just my Friday. This is just my Friday outfit.
But the boys will be running in this state meet on November 6th. That's next Saturday at Lane Community College in Eugene, Oregon.
You can claim your prize at the north end of the end zone. 173249. Congratulations.
He's leaving, so it's just going to be. Well, welcome back. Getting ready for the start of the second half here. This is Antonio Arredondo. My partner, Tyler Frankie, unfortunately had to leave because he has something that I do not, and that is children. So it'll just be me. I hope that you don't get tired of my voice because I'll be the one doing the talking. As Wilsonville's going to be kicking off here to start this second half, up 17-0. Not quite the start that the Cougars wanted. They have been unable to get into the red zone so far in this game. The running game has been stifled. However, still 24 minutes of football left. You can change things in an instant. Wilsonville crowd hyped up, Canby crowd hyped up. It's been a beautiful night of football so far. Oh, and we're going to start quickly. And there's a hurdle. A nice, pulling out the bag of tricks early. Matthew Souls, the captain, caught the ball initially before handing it off on the reverse to Knold. And if there's been one positive so far for the Cougars, it's been their return game. One of the biggest plays of the day early on. Score tied 0-0. Tyler Knold had a 20-yard return. And another one there. Big play. Sets it up at the 30. Mikey Gibson setting up shop with Knold behind him. Both have been fairly quiet for the day. There's a handoff to Knold. And you can tell that this Wilsonville is, they're screaming that they have the ball. It appears that Knold still has it. Both teams have been slightly sloppy so far. We've seen numerous false starts so far in this first half. As we head into the second, we're going to see what they can do, Canby Cougars. What adjustments Coach Jimmy Joyce made. Started off with a reverse there, and they've been trying to go to their bread and butter, which has been the run game. Knold has been such a special player as he's going to get the ball here, running upfield, and you can see, once again, that second gear, as mentioned before. And I tell you, this kid is going to be special. If he isn't already, leading 5A, the entire state, in rushing yards and up there in touchdowns as well. 14 on the year, 14 in 8 games. Canby does not have a touchdown so far in the game, and their longest play is only about 17 yards. I'm not sure if they've had a play over 20 yards yet. However, that was a play where you could see it's building there. As there's a counter play that worked well before, as Knold's going to scamper ahead for a modest gain around 6 yards. That play worked very well with Bryce Oliver. That was the aforementioned 17-yard play. Wilsonville has been committing extremely hard so far in this game. Just making sure that they don't get beat for the big run. Knold has had many of those in his 257-yard performance against St. Helens. He had a 60-yard run and a 40-yard run, as well as a 39-yard run. 2 of those were touchdowns. 39-yard run was followed shortly by a touchdown. There you go again. Stop for a loss of 2. He just hasn't been able to find much room. You can see the quickness is there. It's hard to break into the open field when there's no open field to be had. As Knold's going to come out here. Oliver steps in as Gibson receives the play call. Another passing situation. Gibson's been under a lot of duress so far in this game. Third and 8. Setting up, looking for a screen, gonna come back. There's a completion. That's Parker Ackerman. Parker Ackerman breaks through, and oh, is there a fumble again? They're crowding around. What's the call here? They're celebrating. Wilsonville is celebrating as if they have the ball. Joyce is saying that it was down by contact. However, the officials disagree in the third fumble by a receiver today. The screen was completed for a first down, and Ackerman was just fighting for extra yards before it was poked out. The recovery was by Nick Cooper. And so another big turnover that halts another Canby drive. Cougs have only had 5 drives so far, 2 punts, 2 fumbles, and 1 turnover on downs. And now Chase Hicks, 1 touchdown so far on the day. He sets up shop, going to hand it off to Beecham. Not going to pick us much there, and the flag comes flying in. A lot of penalties so far for both teams. See what the call is here on the field. You can see back there in the wide shot, that Wilsonville student section has showed up. I wish you could see the Canby student section as well in these shots. I tell you, this Canby community, it takes my breath away every time I come back here. And I go into a small college. I wish we had an atmosphere like this. Flag was picked up as a 2-back set, I beg your pardon. It's picked up, there's the snap. Play action is going to be completed to Johnson. And they've been able to find those. When Hicks has gone out to pass, it has been relatively pitch and catch. Johnson just with a nice stop route. Wilsonville does love a deep shot, but they are content to take 10-yard passes every time. So far, the Wildcats have only had to punt on 1 possession. That was their first with a quick 3-and-out. Last time they were in this position, they got a field goal, and the time before there was a fumble as there's a run by Beecham. Picking up yards and dragging a Cougar, taking it to the 28-yard or 27-yard line.
He was brought down by number 55, Braden Snodderly.
Tackle made by Braden Snodderly. We've been saying his name a lot. One of the high tacklers in the conference is Snodderly. And after Canby had been getting a good drive going so far, a quick turnaround, as now bordering on the red zone are the Wildcats. Motion back, little pistol formation, quick handoff. Corralled by a host of Cougars, still fighting is Ogden. Splitting carries have been the 2 backs, Ogden and Beecham. 9 total touchdowns on the year for the 2 running backs. And once again, Wilsonville, they may be 8-0, have only played 6 games. They had 2 forfeits on the season, one against North Salem and the other against St. Helens. However, even with those 2 forfeits in 6 games played, Hicks is still 3rd in the conference in yards, and Beecham is still 10th in the conference in yards. And that pass airmailed, once again, was intended for Jack Johnson. Johnson has been the favorite target so far. Nick Crowley was the man who caught the touchdown. Johnson's been targeted a lot along with Cooper Hyde. Third and 9 here. Cougars looking for a stop. Stadium getting a little bit loud, and they're going to go with a run. Coming around, trying to get through, not going to get there. Able to gain a couple was Beecham, but he was quickly blitzed by Cougars that got in the backfield. Now it's a 4th down, and we'll see what they do here. We saw them hit a field goal earlier, and oh, it's close. Looks like they're bringing out Friedman again. And Joey Friedman, the senior kicker, has 1 field goal so far on the day as they're rushing in players. A little bit of confusion amongst the Wildcat special teams unit. he does have that 132-yarder on the day. This is going to be from 40 yards, a very impressive kick for Friedman if he converts. Setting up shop, the kick. Oh, it's a fake! They're trying to throw, thrown up in the air, and it's caught! And there's a touchdown. The touchdown pass from Jack Johnson. Pass to Judah Lesh. And a creative play call from Wildcat head coach Adam Gunther. A lot of the time, you expect a fake in those scenarios. But with Friedman already hitting one of the field goals, you expect a kick now. So often you're not going to see a 40-yard kick in high school. But with Friedman already hitting the 32-yarder, as I said, now you're expecting it. And an excellent play call there makes it 23-0 pending the extra point. Extra point is up and good. And there's the kick power that Friedman possesses. Joyce, head coach Jimmy Joyce for the Cougars, upset about something. Officials communicating. Looks like we will be reattempting the kick. Not quite sure what the call is, but Friedman back for the extra point. That one up and through. So 24-0. Wilsonville leads, 6:32 left, and they've been scoring in all sorts of ways. They have a defensive touchdown, a special teams touchdown, offensive touchdown, and a field goal, and a field goal. And this is why this Wildcat team has not lost in almost 2 years. November 15th, 2019, a loss versus Thurston. Their last loss. They have 14 straight wins. And this is why they're ranked number 3 in the state. Canby came in with number 5. Number 1 was Thurston. Both of these teams are playoff bounds. Both teams have clinched as the top of the Northwest Oregon Conference West. Both came into the game 6-0. And the Cougars are riding their hottest streak that they'd had since 2009 when they had won 10 straight games. Wilsonville was not deterred by the crowd, though, and so far have gotten off to a great start that is consistent and carried over into this second half. Canby still looking for their first points on the board. This is a roller that's going to go to Souls. Souls picks it up, dodges around a little bit, and is going to be brought down around the 30-yard line. So, he broke out. They had stopped his forward progress, as some of the Canby fans not happy with the whistle there. However, his forward progress had been stopped before Knold and Souls broke out of the pile. 30-yard line once again. Mikey Gibson will be back in the shotgun formation, I'd expect. Last possession for the Cougars had been going well until a turnover when sophomore receiver Parker Ackerman received a pass and had gone for about a 12-yard gain. Fortunately, fumbled it away before Wilsonville was able to score that. And there's the counter play that's worked pretty well for the Cougars. Only able to pick up one there. And Oliver and Knold, who came into the game as Knold was the first in the state in rushing yards, and Oliver was 4th in the conference. This two-headed monster not quite able to find some running room so far. Just over halfway through this third quarter. And this has been a Canby team that has been thriving, that's thrived off of big plays. They can do big plays, they can do long drives, but you've seen a lot. As they're looking for another possible screen. There's a throw up. And what a catch! Goodness! Get up, Matthew Souls. What a play! There's the big play I was talking about. a big play. 28 yards, and now Canby's offense has a play over 20 yards, and a great catch. Gibson is coming around, and he was looking at Ackerman at first. I wish we had a replay there, because Souls was able to get up, break through, and now they're going to run. Oliver going to get 3 yards. And Matthew Souls was defended by Connor Green. And it was a jump ball, purely. Green had some position. Ball just lofted over. And Gibson, the prospect who has been offered by Pacific University in Forest Grove, as well as toured George Fox University. He'll be playing college ball, and that arm strength there and awareness to throw it up is part of the reason why. Gibson keeps, and he's going to be brought down by Jay Rummel West. So losing the 3 yards that they had just gained are the Cougars. Comes out to get the play. And that is a play that has really worked well for the Cougars these last couple of games. As I have said before, Gibson was primarily a runner against Forest Grove last week in their 43-14 win. And so far, Wilsonville has been able to sniff it out, bringing up a 3rd and 10. The Cougars have gotten into Wildcat territory. However, they have not been able to break very far past this 40-yard line. Knold in the backfield behind Gibson. Snap, looking deep. Gonna take the shot. Just a little bit too far, was going for Ackerman. Brockmiller is also breaking free. And now the 4th down. On their 3rd possession of the game, the Cougars were able to get to this same exact position. Had a 4th and 11 with a pass attempt as Gibson was sacked. However, they are not going to be going for it here. Punt team is out. 3:39 left here. No one back deep to return. I guess they don't try. Oh, a low snap gets over, and a wobbly punt. Is able to stay in bounds and goes out at the 20, where Wilsonville will take over possession. 24-0 Wildcats. 3:32 left if you're just joining us. Wilsonville has been able to score in a variety of ways. Their most recent possession, they were able to march down the field and appeared to be going for a field goal before holder Jack Johnson threw a ball that was sailed in the air for a long time before being caught by Judah Lesh and run into the end zone. Wildcats have scored on a passing touchdown, a fumble recovery that was returned for a touchdown, as Hicks going to keep the ball here on a QB keeper, able to pick up about 3. And they've also scored on a field goal as well to get this 24-0 lead. A 3-score game, and the Canby offense that has scored at least 33 points or more over their last 6 games has been absolutely stifled against a tough Wilsonville defense that has only given up 7 points in the last 4 weeks. 2 of those games were forfeits, granted, but other than that, in their other 2 games, only 7 total points given up. And this is a team that appears to be cooking at the right time, as there's a pass that goes out to the side. It's going to go to Johnson again. He's been making his name heard. I've had to call his number several times. 3rd and 1 now. Canby looking to stop the Wildcats on this 3rd down play. Flinch there from the Cougar defensive line. Didn't go over. No harm, no foul. And high snap comes around the outside is Ogden, and Ogden breaks free down the sideline. Lee's trying to get him. Ogden down. Lee able to chase him down, but not before a 51-yard gain. Able to take it. They've been running the other way. Ogden has gone outside a couple times. Last couple, they've been inside with a QB keeper. They've been mostly passing. Catch him off guard there. Big play there for the Wildcats. Longest play of the day. And now setting up to pass, a quick screen off to the side, hung in the air a little bit, but it's tracked down. And that's going to be Cooper Hyde. Hyde came into the game with 448 yards receiving. That's good for 6th in the conference. He's been utilized today, but nowhere as much as Jack Johnson has. 16-yard line, another red zone trip for the Wildcats. Looking to cap off their undefeated season so far. Canby, however, came into the game at 7-1. Here's a pass. And once again, it's been working, and Johnson's going to get into the end zone, it looks like. Looking for the call. No, they call him out at the 1-yard line. Once again, another quick pitch and catch from Hicks to Johnson. They've been able to get it all day. And so in the waning seconds here, 56 seconds left in this third quarter, and Wilsonville looking to make it a 31-0 game as coming in, and they will score on the rush. That's going to be Rockney Beecham, his 5th touchdown of the season. Makes the score 30-0. Coming back out in that swinging gate formation. And now back in once again. A 4-score lead for the Wildcats. And now I think I can confidently say they've scored every way. Field goal, special teams, trick play, run, pass. It's a well-rounded football team that Wilsonville has. And there's a reason that they're so highly ranked. There's also a reason Canby's so highly ranked. This is a squad that has been dominating their recent performances. Not quite what you'd want on this marquee matchup on Friday. However, a quarter to try to turn things around, get morale up. This is a team that is a playoff team, and the result may show it right now, but this Canby squad can contend. Getting ready for the kickoff now, as Souls and Knold will traverse back. Wilsonville has had 7 possessions. They've scored on 5 of them. Their first possession of the game, actually, was a quick 3-and-out that got the Cougar crowd going. But if you're just joining us, it's been all Wildcats from there. The only time that they have not scored was a red zone fumble that was recovered by Knold, as this ball is going to be dribble around to be picked up by Souls. Souls stutters, gets out, and another good return for the Cougars. They've been able to set themselves up in good position, and just about every drive, it looks like they've been gaining about 30 yards apiece. And right now, with 30 seconds left here in this third quarter, you got to believe that this is just go for it territory or whatever. I highly doubt we'll be seeing any more Cougar punts. 1st and 10 now for the Canby offense. They're looking to get on the board for the first time. This Cougar O had scored 43 points the previous week against Forest Grove in a road matchup. 33 points and 42 points 2 weeks before. They've had 2 50-point games. Coming up once again, and Gibson's going to keep it. And this is what we saw against Forest Grove as he goes for a hurdle. able to get a sizable gain. Gibson showing off his athleticism, but that's what we saw against Forest Grove is defense is overcommitting and giving Gibson that second to figure out what he wants to do. And when you give him that second, he can make good decisions. He has been making good decisions so far today, just hasn't had much time. 5-yard gain there. 24 seconds as Gibson sailed out of bounds. And there's no quit in this Cougar team. I know in the past, in their 0-9, 2-7 years, this team might have bowed their heads. But Gibson, you see him still flying through the air. You still see the team rallying around each other. It may not be the result they want. 8 seconds left here as time winding down. Doesn't look like they'll get off a play here. 3rd and 5 is going to be coming up at the end of this quarter. As the horn rings, it's going to be Cougar ball. And yeah, you just see me now. Just been me this half. And that was 14-point performance from the Wilsonville offense. Special teams touchdown. As Sweet Caroline's playing over. Hopefully this can get the Cougar crowd into a little bit. Coming out here. Oh, thanks for that lower third graphic right there. And I can't thank Tyler Frankie and the Canby Cougars staff enough for giving me this opportunity. A big dream of mine to be able to announce this. It's a marquee matchup. It was nearly the Oregon High School or Northwest High School game of the week. Was narrowly defeated in a high voting match with Camas and Union in Washington. And once again, be sure to follow Cougar Country Oregon on Twitter. We provide the latest Canby sports updates. We've just had a story recently about cross country. Look for the season recaps of both men's and women's soccer. And we can't wait for basketball season. Quick blitz. Gibson not able to spin out of it. And a sack. They sent the pressure there. Nick Cooper. He's had a sack earlier. And I said it's almost always go for it scenario, but after a sack like that. And a 4th and 14. It's going to be hard to go for it there. So a punt back deep. Seth Squire, who had a couple of good defensive plays earlier, is back. A high snap there, able to corral it, and sends the punt high in the air. Lands, takes a good bounce. It's going to roll out of bounds right about the 43-yard line where the Wildcats will take over possession. First and 10 for this Wildcat offense that has shown up. And they have dominated most of their games. Their closest match was an 11-point game against Scappoose. Canby actually beat Scappoose by 12. Both teams had been well matched. The Indians were ranked a top 10 team. The NWOC West has had several top 10 teams over this. And in a budding rivalry between Canby and Wilsonville, I hope these two teams can meet again. If it's in the playoffs, it's whatever. I would love to see the Cougars get another opportunity. There's the handoff. Swarmed quickly in the backfield was Beecham. In on the tackle for the Cougars was Casey Langdale. Haven't said his name much today. Langdale comes in with 3 sacks on the season. That's good for conference, making the conference list. I believe in the 12th position. This the most points that the Cougars have given up this season. They gave up 37 last year in a game against Wilsonville. Since then, it had all been under 20 as down to the sidelines. Oh, and there's going to be a block. Several flags raining in as Johnson was carried out. Looked to be a block in the back on Wilsonville. You could hear the crowd reacting to the play, and that's the initial call. Looks to be a holding. A good play there, but reversed by a penalty. After a penalty-filled first half, it has been a relatively clean second half. That will stop Wilsonville's momentum momentarily, as the Cougars now get a second down opportunity to halt the Wildcats. Johnson has been targeted several times, and I don't know much on Johnson's story, if he was injured or he did not appear in the pregame scouting reports. Instead, it was Cooper Hide, who was the main guy we were looking for. He's been mostly quiet as there's a fumble. Hicks able to fall on it, though. That could have been a swift change. A little fumbled exchange there in the snap. There have been 3 fumbles in this game. No interceptions so far. 2 fumbles for the Cougars and 1 for the Wildcats. All very big momentum shifts. All 3 fumbles by wide receivers, interestingly enough. If you're just joining us, a well-fought first half. And now here's a sack. Canby defense, as I said, effort never in question for this Cougar team. And as you see in on the sack, Cameron Lee, he was there, but the big man, Gideon Nas, was in on the sack, and that's going to give up a 4th and a million. 4th and 33 officially for the Wildcats. This will be their first punt since the first possession. And punts can be dangerous. You got to watch out for Tyler Knold. I haven't sung his praises enough, and I know I've done it already. Knold, number 1, came into the game averaging 12 yards per carry. That might be affected a little bit today, but with almost 1,300 yards rushing as a sophomore in his first year's varsity, is a high snap. Able to get off. I don't know if Knold will get a chance to return this. Ball bounces just over midfield. Going to go out of bounds at the 51-yard line. 8:46 left. The Cougars able to get a little bit of, get the crowd involved a little bit. It's always nice to hear the roars of the Cougar faithful. A couple of good defensive plays. Cougars have a number of sacks on the year. Against St. Helens, in fact, their 3rd game of the season, the first points of the game were a sack for a safety. Gibson and Knold setting up shop. Unsurprisingly, a handoff to Knold, and here's the sophomore breaking into the open. That's what I'm talking about. That getaway speed and how he's able to just turn on a dime. And now Canby getting some momentum. And maybe in the 4th quarter with 8 minutes left, but a nice 20-yard gain. Sure to lift some spirits. And this is a Canby team. We'll see when the rankings come out. 16 teams will make the playoffs in 5A. The Cougars are currently ranked 5th in 5A. If they dip below 8th, they will fall to a road game. As here's a handoff and a counter play, and around again comes Knold. Able to pick up 5 yards there. If they dip to 9th, it'll be a road matchup for the Cougars, and I know that the seniors and everyone else involved, it may not have been senior night tonight, but you do want to have an impressive showing, and this is a great ability to come in and get momentum for the next week. And this Canby offense is not false billing. I know a lot of people, it's the first time they've watched the Cougars, as Knold, another carry, and able to push forward. There's a first down, it appears, right at the edge. See what the official spot gives the Cougars. And they do give it to him. First time down in the red zone for this Cougar offense, looking to get on the board for the first time. 8 minutes. Running clock does not start until 35 points. So the Cougars are able to get a point, maybe get an onside kick. Seen crazy things before. I think everyone knew that it was going to go to Knoll. Didn't matter anyway. All Tyler Knoll this possession. He's picked up a good 48, 45 yards so far. Knoll has gotten over 100 yards in just about every game this year. He has a couple over 200, including a 257-yard, 3-touchdown performance. A breakout game against St. Helens. Knoll in the backfield once again. Canby looking for their first touchdown. Snap back coming through. Easy pickings touchdown. Cougars, they're on the board. The crowd gives a cheer. Tyler Knoll scored a touchdown in most games this season. That's his 15th of the year. Those 15 touchdowns good for third in the conference. We have some impressive running backs over in North Salem and Scappoose that have been able to put up 17. It looks like they're going to go for 2 here. A smart decision. Will they go with the run or the pass game here? Canby is very much a run-oriented team. Here they go, handoff to Knoll again. He looks to get through, spins just a bit short, and the score is going to stay 6-31. So that keeps it at a 4-score game at 25 points. But good to see the Cougars get on the board. As the fireworks go off for the first time, a honored Canby tradition. And the Spirit King runs down the sideline. We hear that fight song for the first time today. I'm sure not the circumstances the Cougars would like to hear that first fight song. But nonetheless, on the board is Canby. 7:16 left in the match. Running out for the kick. But curious to see if they'll go for an onside perhaps, or maybe just boot it deep.
Number 25, Calvin Boyer,
Boyer into kick. Wilsonville preparing for the onside. They've got their hands team out there. Boyer's stepping back in his usual. As running onto the field late is Jackson Doman. He's back on the field, and now Wilsonville seems to be changing to their normal kick return scheme. Looks like the Cougars are going to send it deep. Boyer gets ready to trot towards. So the Cougars do kick it deep. Ball rolls, going to be picked up and handled. That's going to be Wesley Herr, and a good tackle. Good open field tackle for the Cougars, and Wilsonville wanting to make absolutely sure there was no funny business on the kick. Had their hands team up and ready to go. They're blitzed through, and Herr had nowhere to go, and they're going to be tackled back at the 12-yard line. This Cougar defense looking to make another stop. You saw them push Wilsonville's offense back to a 4th and 33 last possession that resulted in a punt. They've also forced 1 turnover so far today, given up a couple of touchdowns. This one's going to be a run through, though. And a quick first down to get out of the shadow of the end zone for the Wildcats. Nice carry by Ogden. Snodderly again with a tackle. Still the starters out for Wilsonville. Can never be too sure in high school football. Once again, this Wildcat team has not lost since November 15, 2019. A 6-0 campaign last year in the COVID-shortened season. Beecham not going to get anywhere there. 6-0 in a 37-14 victory over the Cougars, where they held a 24-7 halftime lead against an injured Cougars squad. This Wilsonville team, a 5A level that is capable of competing with 6A teams. Canby, of course, normally 6A and 6A in every other sport. However, they dropped down a classification after falling on a couple of rough years, including a 22-game losing streak that started in 2017 as running around the outside. A quick juke move by Beecham. He's going to be run out of bounds. He gets just enough for that first down.
Carries good for a Wildcat first down. The first and 10 Wilsonville from their own 35.
As I was saying, though, Canby, 6A for a long time, member of the Three Rivers League in most sports. Tough matchups against Westland, Tualatin, Lake Oswego in football had them fall in a 22-game losing streak that brought in the era of Jimmy Joyce after years of being a wing T offense. 2017, they had their last victory until 2019 with a game over Newburgh. Here's a flag. And after 3 straight 2-7 seasons and an 0-9 campaign, Joyce was brought in. His first year, the team started on a 7-game losing streak, where Mikey Gibson was brought in to be the starting quarterback, taking over from senior Andrew Peters in a game against Tualatin. Cougars showed promise, eventually gaining a victory, 35-28 win over Oregon City before blitzing Roseburg in the season finale, a 42-15 win. Last year saw the Cougars start off 3-1 before injuries decimated a team. Chance Miller, a D1 prospect who was committed to Air Force. We see another flag here on a run. Going to be pushed out of bounds. Chance Miller, who had committed to Air Force, and we see him now on the sideline down talking to some of his old teammates. He was injured, an injury that ended up causing him to enroll at Portland State to continue his football career, where fellow Cougar Ronan Gay also plays. His injury, along with a hobbled Mikey Gibson, as well as a myriad of other situations, led the Cougars to fall to a 3-3 record as a penalty against Wilsonville. Going to send the Wildcats back. But Joyce has done an incredible job turning around this program, ushering new coaches. Most of the line staff was kept the same, and Paul Huggins and Brett Rhodes, as well as Coach Jim Schlatter. But many other coaches were brought in. And they've gotten off to a 7-1 year so far. It'll be the first winning record for the Cougars since 2013, where the team finished 7-6. Another flag here on the Wildcats, pinning themselves farther back. 5:38 remaining in the game. A 2013 campaign that was led by senior linebacker A.J. Schlatter, as well as running back Devin Fortier, a squad that's went in the regular season 4-5 before catching a win streak and going all the way to play in what's now Providence Park in Portland, eventually losing to Jesuit 42-14. Enough history lessons here as Ogden's going to come around the outside and breaking into the open field. Here goes Ogden, trying to be run down by Souls. Souls tries to get him, and Ogden scampers free in a tremendous outside block that was on Cameron Lee. Didn't catch the number for the Wildcats, but a big run and a nice job by Souls to be able to track him down. But Ogden came in with 5 touchdowns on the season. He had a 50-yard run earlier today. That one going to go down as around appears to be at 65, 70 yards. Is now checking into the game is Jay Rummel West. We see him on the defensive side, giving Ogden a breather. And here's the pass. Once again, Jack Johnson has been open. He has a touchdown today. He's been open on that quick curl route just about every time. And Hicks has been able to hit him without much issue. Under 5 minutes here. That outside run has been potent. They've been returning to the same things, an outside run, as well as that pass to Johnson. Down inside the 10-yard line now. Hicks with 1 touchdown pass on the day. Been very efficient on the season, only 3 interceptions against 14. Ooh, a near bobbled snap there. Coming around the edge again, here comes Beecham. Beecham tackled short.
Beecham on the carry down to the 2-yard line. Brockmiller took him down.
Joe Brockmiller, who had an excellent game last week against Forest Grove defensively. He's the leading receiver for the Cougars this year, good for 7th in the conference. 14 receptions for 343 yards and 3 touchdowns. Last week defensively was probably his best game. I asked Jimmy Joyce about it. And Brockmiller really commands that defensive back there. Here at the 2-yard line, old throwback package. Don't see this very much more in football, especially in the college and NFL levels of whistles. Flag comes flying in. So if it's on Wilsonville, it'll be their 3rd penalty of the drive. And they appear to be backing up 5 yards. .324 left. You're just joining us for the end of this one. Wilsonville jumped on top after a long drive late in the first. Canby was held to -7 yards in the first quarter, but didn't get the ball much. A turnover that was returned for a touchdown gave the Wildcats a 14-0 lead, and they took a 17-0 lead into half before jumping up 31-0. Tyler Knold picked up his 15th rushing touchdown of the season for the Cougars. It's been billed as a marquee matchup. It certainly started off hard-fought, and it still is hard-fought, but not quite the result that Jimmy Joyce and his squad were looking for. Canby entered this game on a 6-game win streak. Coming back now and looking to pass under duress. And he fell down. I don't know, they're ruling he was down before, so the clock will run. Not exactly what the Cougars want. The tackle was made by Davis Hagan. Called his number a couple of times today. Hicks was just down and it threw it right into the outstretched arms of who I believe was number 66, Matthew Hagan. So the Hagan's in on the Crimus. Here's Friedman on the field goal. He did have a 32-yarder and lined up for a 40-yarder. Up 17-0 in the 3rd quarter that ended up being a fake as Jack Johnson threw a touchdown pass. This one a real attempt here, and it sails wide. The game remains at 31-6. Friedman missing that one left, pushing it. But that fake field goal was probably the nail in the coffin in this game, as the Cougars were looking to keep it a 3-score game. They had just given up a fumble after marching in to Wildcat territory. Last drive, though, was good old-fashioned hard-mouth football from this Canby offense. Like I've said, they've been the wing tee for so many years, where running was their only thing. And their last year in the wing tee, in 2017, quarterback Trent Wakefield never threw for more than 75 yards in a game. And while this team does give off the guise of a spread offense, this is a much more power run oriented team.
Gibson did have one nice pass earlier today in the third quarter to Matthew Souls on a third down. That actually set up the Cougars at the 40-yard line shortly before that Parker Ackerman fumble. 2nd and 10 now for the Cougars. 1:52 left here in the fourth quarter. Gibson trots out. Stepping back to pass here. Now he's looking to take a shot deep to the side. Falls incomplete, though. It was intended for Parker Ackerman. Ackerman has a couple of catches on the day. Excuse me, pass intended for Jackson Doman. Doman steps into the game now for Ackerman. Doman, a 6'5" freshman. Receiver as well as defensive back. A lot of Domans in Canby. And he'll be in the next line of Domans that have been gifted athletically. Women's basketball player Skylie Doman went on to play D1 football or D1 basketball, excuse me, at Southern Utah. As Gibson steps back to pass, that's going to be a fumble. And that's going to be scooped up into the end zone, and Gibson is down. Not what you want to see here. Fumble was covered by Tristan Davis and Mikey Gibson. The heart and soul of this Canby team hobbles off the field. He was injured in their last year's matchup against Wilsonville. And Gibson, the senior, has given it his all this year. So this year has almost 1,400 passing yards, 16 touchdowns and 4 interceptions as Wilsonville takes a 38-6 lead. And just the last thing you want to see here in a game. It was already out, just trying to get these kids some momentum heading into the playoffs, and you just hope that Mikey Gibson's okay. Backup quarterback Cameron Lee, a senior who has been experienced and plays a lot in the up-back position. We'll see if Gibson comes out. I assume his day is done at the very least. Looking for him on the sideline, can't find. But what a blow that would be for this Canby offense. As Gibson walks over to helmet off near the bench. Wish him the best. Touchdown recovered by Tristan Davis. That's the second defensive touchdown of the day for the Wilsonville Wildcats. They had a 25-yard fumble return that shifted the tides in their favor, and they haven't looked back since. Once again, Matthew Souls and Tyler Knold in the backfield. Back to return, I should say. As you're seeing the late change here, Cameron Lee, who does everything for the Cougars and is the backup quarterback, he'll be subbed out here. He was going to be returning. They put Bryce Oliver in as an up man to block. You can assume we'll see Lee here. Once again, the Cougars will be playing a playoff matchup next week. The opponent is to be determined. It all depends on how the rankings weigh out this week. This will be the first loss for the Canby Cougars. There's an instant flag off the kickoff, perhaps an illegal formation. We'll see here. With 1:39 left. And it will be a re-kick for the Wilsonville Wildcats. It's like an illegal formation call. So we'll tee it off again. This time from a little bit farther back at the 35-yard line. Once again, Cameron Lee, despite being backup quarterback, has had a decent amount of action this year. With the Cougars winning many of their games by 20+, he was able to see action in 5 games this year as a quarterback. He was able to score a touchdown in 4 consecutive games, all rushing. A heck of an athlete. As the squib kick goes forward, it's going to be picked up here. This is Parker Ackerman. Now Ackerman dancing back and forth, and here goes Ackerman. Down the sideline, Parker Ackerman is going to go out of bounds at the 32 in this kick return game for the Cougars. A huge positive to see. Ackerman had enough time to handle the ball, figure out exactly where he wanted to go, plant, and it was off to the races. A big play for the Cougars. Ball will be marked at the 34-yard line. As, we have Mikey Gibson back in the game. He went down hobbled. Didn't know if we'd see him again, and a huge sigh of relief taken by the Canby faithful as he's back in. A quick handoff to Knold. And here goes Tyler Knold. Knold breaks free, tackled. Nearly broke free there. He's able to pick up 7 yards. And so all my lamenting about Gibson instantly wipes away. So good to see him healthy. And what it appeared to be a scary moment. A miscommunication here, though, and Gibson going to spin forward. Could have been a much bigger loss than it was. Loses about 1.5 yards. 47 seconds left. Time ticking down here in this game. A game that Wilsonville jumped out from the second possession where they took control in a dominant drive, scoring in many ways, just flexing how talented this team is. Here goes Knold. He'll scamper out of bounds, get able to pick up the first down. 18 seconds left. Canby trying to pick up one more score. In a game that saw the Cougars knocked down for the first time in 6 games. This has been a squad that has jumped out incredibly quickly. And I'm excited to see them next week. They've been able to fight back all season long, and they might not have gotten the result they wanted this week. But this is a very talented team, and here's a throw up. As we bat it away. 11 seconds left now. Intends it over to the corner. Pass was broken up by Asher Buchanan. It was intended for Joe Brockmiller. He's their big play man. Now that Kobe Kessler was out for the season after in the Week 3 matchup against St. Helens, Kessler in his limited action was able to catch 7 touchdowns. A greatly missed receiver. Here comes over, and now there's a handoff to Knold. Knold breaks through, and here goes Tyler Knold down the sideline. Touchdown, Canby. 3 seconds left. Canby able to get a score. Tyler Knold, his 2nd touchdown of the game. That's his 16th. And they're able to get on the board. They score the 2nd time this quarter. And just the momentum that you need to carry into the next week. Yes, it might be a loss, but at least you're able to finish off this game strong. And as I've reiterated over and over again, this Canby team, effort has never been a question. It's now running out. Appears to be the extra point. Border comes running in. Snap, Gavin Border's kick through, and it was deflected. However, a false start on the Canby offense. Perhaps a blessing in disguise as the kick was blocked regardless. So they move back 5 yards and see if they'll try it again. Cougars started off the season with Cohen Hall as the kicker. However, Hall not doing the kicking duties. And since Boyer has taken over, there hasn't been too much of a drop in production. That snap low, Boyer comes through, and that kick's going to be short, a little bit out of his range. 38-12, though. Able to ring the bell one more time, get the crowd on their feet. Fight song playing once again, and there's the fireworks. A similar score to the game that was had last year, or I should say this spring in the COVID-shortened season, where Canby fell to Wilsonville 14-37. Barring a kick return, touchdown, or some other change in events, this appears to be a 38-12 victory for Wilsonville. A Wilsonville team that was ranked 3rd in the Scorebook Live polls, that's the premier polling system for sports writers here in Oregon. However, according to the OSA rankings, they're only 6th. 2 forfeits kind of hurt them, as those only appear as a 1-0 victory in the OSA system. This victory sure to help a team that is undefeated and rolling. Only given up 19 points over the last 4 weeks. About to be 5 weeks here. As the kick's going to come away. Boyer boots it deep. Squibbed through. It's going to be picked up. Run forward. Right around and tackled down is Nick Coiler, and that's going to be the game. Your final score tonight, Wilsonville 38, Canby 12. That is going to put the Canby Cougars record at 7-2 on the season. 6-1 in the Northwest Oregon Conference. Their first conference loss of the season. Wilsonville will improve to an impressive 9-0. A team that is red hot, undefeated in both league and conference. In the meantime, I'm Antonio Redondo, and I thank you very much for coming out and watching today's performance on CTV Channel 5. This is a production of Cougar Country, your home for hometown sports here in Canby, Oregon. Final score 38-12 in favor of the Wilsonville High School Wildcats. We'll see how playoffs stack up. We know the Cougars will be making it. Now the matter is if they will be home or away. We should find out by the end of this week. Once again, I'm Antonio Redondo, your Cougar Country sports writer here on the call. And with me for the first half was Tyler Frankie. Thank you to our sponsors for putting together this production. And this is Antonio Redondo signing off.